based on developing what I call a unique value proposition, and then marketing that unique value proposition everywhere. Now, some of you may have heard of this and as a unique selling proposition. So there's different language out there. I like to call it a unique value proposition because at the end of the day, if we're not presenting value to buyers and sellers, true value over our competition in a flooded market, what are we doing? Right? What are we doing? So I want to attract, I need your attention if you're watching this video, because this is the cornerstone, one of the cornerstone or the pillars of all of your marketing strategies. And that's why I'm going to spend, basically do a 3-part series on this. So we're going to talk about one of the easiest and quickest ways to attract motivated buyers and sellers. We're going to talk about a way to create a compelling and persuasive marketing message to a specific target audience for those of you that are looking to get better at niche marketing. And then also how to stand apart, head and shoulders from your local competition. Okay? Because don't think that you're not competing. You're always competing, right? Especially with real estate agents. There's more agents than ever before. And a proven formula that I've tested not only on our brokerage of over 200 agents, but also that I've trained and coached with mega agents across the country, that makes you the obvious choice to do business with. It helps you eliminate so many objections up front when you're going and you're competing for the listing. And then we're going to talk about the truth about what actually gets in the way of buyers and sellers making a decision to work with you. Some of the things that get in the way. So those are the things that we're going to cover. And I want to start off by asking you a question. Okay? One of the most important questions when it comes to sales and marketing. Hopefully you got something to write with. Why should a home seller or buyer choose to work with you as their real estate agent over any other available option, including doing nothing and working with no agent at all, selling their home on their own? Right? Got to factor that in. It's a reality. And if you work with a lot of buyers, what makes you different than every other buyer's agent or your team different? And I really, really want you to think about that question, because here's what I hear a lot. Well, I provide great customer service. Awesome. What does that mean? So what? Right? Other things that I hear is, well, I've been in business and I've done 200 transactions in 3 years, or whatever your stats are. Okay. So what does that mean to them? Right? And so there's a lot of better ways, or another one, great photography. Okay, well, why is that important? And how is that really different? And so we're going to go in and take a deep dive in discovery and actually how to frame some of the things that really do separate you and make them appear as the true value that they deserve. Okay, so that's really the big question, is what makes you different and why is it important to the buyer and the seller, and making sure that your message clearly indicates that in your marketing. All right, it takes a little bit of thinking, but it also provides a brand new opportunity, and it can be fun and creative if you start getting your creative juices flowing. All right, so I'm going to break this down. So here's the thing. If you struggle to really come up with something that is attractive and different, then in this competitive market, especially if you're just getting started, you might want to think of a different career unless you hustle. Okay? Unless you are hustling. Don't get me wrong. You could not have a compelling reason or not have anything different. If you're a really good networker and you're really good at building relationships, sure, there's other things you can do. But remember, anytime I do training thinking about being a true entrepreneur and scaling a business, right? Not just doing 40, 50 transactions, but building an empire, right? And this is what empire builders do, right? They think like marketers, and then they present something that is truly attractive, right? So my motto is stand out or sit down, period. And maybe that comes across strong, but I'm doing that for a reason because I really want to make a point here. It's really, really important. And I'll tell you a story. When I first started working for sale by owners and expireds, it was my responsibility to generate the listing appointment. And as an inside sales agent, I was also acting as basically a team leader type of role, operational role. And I found myself making calls to for sale by owners and expireds, and I really didn't know how to speak their language. I didn't understand their psychology, and our brokerage really didn't have anything that spoke to their needs, to their core concerns. And so I was getting rolled like crazy. And then the appointments that I did get, a lot of times my partners, who was a really strong listing agent and also somebody who had a really good marketing background, they weren't connecting with them. The closing rate was horrible. And I was really frustrated. I was pretty much sick of working with for sale by owners and expireds. And then I came across some training on the topic that I'm talking to you about. And there's a lot of great content out there from other great coaches that talk about unique selling propositions and great examples. And I studied some of those people myself. And one of the things that I came across is that I was not connecting with the psychology of the homeowner, and neither was my team. And once we kind of discovered that as a problem, we took a step back and we kind of whiteboarded it out, and we said, okay, what are all the pain points, right? What are all the reasons that they might not do business with an agent? And how can we develop unique value propositions to help them overcome their fears and worries and concerns? And we came up with a handful of them, which we're going to talk about. But what was really awesome is more people started taking my appointments because I was able to present unique value when they gave me an objection over the phone. And when my partner went out on the appointment to close the deal, it provided them leverage. And what I like to say, use as a reference, bullets in their gun. When they came across these objections or concerns, they understood them and had unique value to overcome them when they were going up against a competitor. And our closing rate skyrocketed. It absolutely blew up. And what I mean by skyrocket, I'm talking about went from like 20 to 30% closing rate on appointments to the show-up rate going up dramatically. But then getting to the point where on a cold lead, we were closing 50, 60, even some months, 70% of our appointments. And it's really good for a cold lead. I'm not talking about referrals, right? I love it when people say, well, I close 90% of everybody I present to. Okay. I can tell when somebody says that they're not working cold leads, right? People that don't know you when you say that type of thing. Okay. So, I'm talking about working cold leads. And that's where you got to keep this in mind. Unique value propositions are great for people that know you, but referrals, they're kind of laydowns, right? Now, don't get me wrong. You want to still provide value there, but this is different, right? And so there's a combination of things that go together with a unique value proposition that really is going to separate you, okay? And you could also reframe it if you guys want. A point of difference, a unique perceived benefit, right? A unique selling point, an extra value, adding extra value than other agents, a competitive advantage, okay? Are all different ways that you can frame this. But at the end of the day, before we dive in, I just really want to hit home that in a competitive market, you're going to be dead in the water. You're not going to be able to maximize your profits and hit true growth. And I got some really cool examples I'm going to show you of some agents that have done this really, really well, okay, at a high level that refuse to be at the mercy of the marketplace, refuse to work with and deal with the commission crunch, right, and not having homeowners see them for their real value, and living in this world where they're competing against tech companies, right? Trying to put them out of business. And these iBuyer programs, and all those can help us in some ways too, let's face it. But at the end of the day, refuse to not separate yourself from all of those different types of competition. There's more than ever before, right? And so that's my message for today. I want to put you back in control of your results with all the competition that's out there. I want you to feel like you're as in control as your results as possible. And that's the goal by the time that we work through and get into part 2 of my video series here is I want you to feel stronger about converting and negotiating. I want you to be able to do more in less time. And a really good, attractive UVP is going to help you do that, right? It's going to be it really a good, unique value proposition actually should be in line with your core values, but it will actually become the backbone of your real estate business and provide a center point for your ability to scale. So if you wonder if I think a UVP is important, it's so important. It's so important. It's essential in my opinion. So with that, I want you to think, the homework for today is start thinking about really what makes you different. And depending on what your answer is going to depending on where we go next in the next video that I do. Now, for those of you that have never really thought about this, hang in with me. Stay tuned for my next video because I'm going to walk through a step-by-step before we're done on how to study your competitors' unique value, how to break down based on your value, the value that you want to show in your business, what potential UVPs are better for you, and then come up with an action plan to get that implemented into your sales and marketing plan. So by the time that we're done here, I know this is kind of an introductory, but by the time that we're done, we're going to go over not only just theoretical, but the actual way to apply this in the next video. So you guys are awesome, and I look forward to taking a deeper dive in the next video when it comes to how to develop a powerful, unique sales proposition. So with that, I'm out for today, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the evening.